The stupid YouTube thing here says, right above my face, it says orientation is locked, rotate device back. But I know from experience that this probably means that it's actually set to the horizontal that I want. Because why horizontal? Why not vertical? Vertical is usually, I think, people just like scrolling through and wasting their time, whatever else. That's not it. I'm looking for people who want to be active, who are activated, who are serious folk. So, even though I can't entirely precisely see myself here, let's presume that it's working in the proper mode. And first of all, let me give you my contact information. So, my name is Musa because I am in Egypt. In Israel, my name was Moshe. In America, usually Mark or Moshe, Rabbi Moshe Rudner. But online, Yadidya, I don't put a lot of stock in names. You know where the whole names concept shows up? Where Adam is naming the animals. Adam wasn't given a name. Adam and Eve didn't have really separate names. The first person to be named was Eve, but you know what? This isn't a biblical thing. This is, what is this? This is as sincere as I can be in praise of capitalism. My contact information. So, on regular telephone, or WhatsApp, or Signal, if you're in America, leave out the +1. If you're not in America, include the +1. 760-880-1584. So that's +1 760-880-1584. Plus אחד 760-880-1584, or plus واحد 760 8. Oh, look at that. Someone's there. Hey, six shooter who hates Google. What's up? How are you, man? Wow, look at that. I can get little things showing up here. Neat. Welcome. Yeah. Did you see my most recent video where I decided that, the whole I have not been successful at bringing about the messianic world, which I think really should be so easy. Wait, negative means what? You can't see me? What's going on? You can't see me? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Am I appearing normally? What's going on, mein Freund? Because on my end, it's appearing, horizontal, but it says orientation is locked, rotate device back. I don't know if that means that it's squishing me into a vertical, but I can't check. So let me know what you're looking at there, huh? Anyway, unless you were saying negative to watching the most recent video. But do clarify for me if you can see me clearly, hey? It means I didn't watch your last video. Everything is fine with the current live cast. Awesome. Great. Thank you. So in the last video, what I said is, I started watching Trump and Bibi, their speech together. And Bibi said, after all the wonderful things that Donald Trump, he thinks, has done for him, Bibi said, Mr. President, if we've gotten this far in 2 weeks, imagine where we'll be in 4 years. And I turned it off, and I wasn't able to eat for like 24 hours. Because although I think that the modern people misunderstand ancient religious texts, and therefore the way they regard things like prophecy is way off. But from my understanding of it, I am, for better or worse, a prophet. And I'll say it's mostly for worse, because I haven't been able to do anything about it. And this was like, oh my God, do the Jews not see the Holocaust coming? Do they not see the Holocaust coming? I sent messages to a friend of mine in Israel, and he's such a sweet guy. He's such a nice guy. He's such a, if someone showed up at his house in need, he doesn't care, Jewish, not Jewish, Arab, what, anything. He'd be helpful. He's kind, he's sweet, he's sincere, he's caring. So I told him it's a shame that people don't know that. And that's why they want to murder you, your children, and your grandchildren. I said the most of the world, and this is true, most of the world would go along with the murder of you, your children, and your grandchildren. Really? I said, what Jesus said in chapter 5 of Matthew was pretty intelligent. Jesus said, if you have a light, you don't hide it under a bowl. Show the entire world your good deeds so that they'll praise your Father in heaven. Now, the whole Jewish scenario it's a meme. It's an ancient meme that goes way back. And it's intended to take these people and those who join these people, excluding those who leave these people, but more or less these people with the genes changing over the course of the years, to take these people over thousands of years and to subject them to two options. If they want to stay Jewish, two options. One is that they will face holocausts every few generations. The other is that they actually are able to, as a community, live by the Torah, encapsulated perfectly in Isaiah chapter 58. To live by that and to teach it to the world. You don't have to go out to teach it to the world. The world will see what you have and they'll be very impressed. Now, among Orthodox Jews, the ones I'm speaking of, among Orthodox Jews, sure, they have their particular faults. For example, they are averse to truth and to independent thought. They are averse to thinking. They, like every religious group, a Christian fellow who believes that Jesus walked on water and was born of a virgin and died and went to heaven and whatever else, is certainly basing his belief in these very unlikely events by a very easier standard than he bases his belief on whether there's a car coming in the road that's going to hit him. He's willing to take a lot of liberties and a few leaps of faith to believe these things. And why? Because at the end of the day, it's necessary to believe some irrational things to get yourself to live rightly and happily and in love with God and the world and man in a world that is so very friggin' fallen. So, Orthodox Jews as well, you ask them a question about their belief system, they shut down, they shun you, you're on the outside. So they have their faults. However, they do have their benefits. Genuinely speaking, the greatest man, the greatest saint that I've met in my life, and I go out of my way my whole life to search and find interesting people, is a fellow named Rabbi Mordechai Machlis, living in Jerusalem, open house, 24/7. Great, wonderful man. And it would literally be impossible for any Nazi on earth, or anyone who hates Jews no matter what, to have spent a meal in his house and to still want to kill all the Jews. At the very least, they would accept him and his. Really, he's like something you've never seen. If someone has not met Mordechai Machlis, then they have not met someone who is sui generis, unique in the world. And among Jewish groups, there are some of these Orthodox Jewish groups that seclude themselves completely and regard everyone else as outsiders, and therefore not necessarily, overly accepting and welcoming and nice to the outsiders. Not mean, but, viewing them as dangers, absolute stranger danger, everyone who's not one of them. But yet, within their communities, they got a lot of good things going. Again, it's very sad for the person who unfortunately is interested in what's real and what's true. That person gets fucked in those communities. But otherwise, there's no homeless people in those communities. There's no starving people in those communities. People genuinely are able to access that internal joy that we all have in making people, and even non-people, dogs, cats, but making people happy if they don't want anything from us. If we know they're not a danger to us and they don't want anything from us, we enjoy making them happy. And in those communities, therefore, people set up free loan societies where they risk their own money to lend people money. They have loan societies for all kinds of things. If people don't have money for a wedding, they pay for the wedding. I mean, it's really quite nice. It's really quite nice. Not perfect, of course, but really, really, really quite nice. And Jesus was saying, listen, I know, like you have to realize, the same people that Jesus is calling vipers and hypocrites and whatnot, those are the outskirts, extremist assholes who are going out of their way to go find Jesus and bother him. They're the self-appointed shock troops to protect the internal guys. But Jesus knew the internal guys were doing pretty good. You have a light. You are the salt. Show the world. Continue to live this way. Do it publicly. And anyway, so yeah, what I said to my friend in Israel was, the reason why most of the world wants to kill you, or at least would go along with the murder of you and your children and grandchildren, is because they don't know you. I said, what do they know? They know Kurt Rothschild. Kurt Rothschild is a friend of my friend who I sent this message to. He's not alive anymore, so we can talk about him with ease. Important thing is his last name is Rothschild. Kurt Rothschild, very wealthy guy. Apparently a nice guy. Apparently a good guy. Rothschild, what's up with that? And there are many, 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 many Jews, much more than their representative numbers, who are very, very, very famous and powerful in the world. And Jews are the most colorful of ancient peoples scattered around the world. So therefore, it's not hard if somebody wants to look at who's keeping us down. Well, how are you going to find Henry Ford, for example, was a very clever fellow. Henry Ford, the guy who created the conveyor belt, the guy who decided that instead of, a craftsman, before that, people created cars from scratch. It was a tremendous accomplishment. You felt great. You created a car and you sold it to somebody. It was an unbelievable thing. Henry Ford realized, why pay for that genius guy when I can just take a whole bunch of other people and just each have them move this from here to there, squeeze this over here, really just turning people into robots, into cattle, into slaves. And the way that he offset that was by blaming it all on the colorful Jews. He was a good friend of Hitler's, and with his The International Jew series of books, etc. So for the average person, if you want to hate on those that are causing the problems in the world, that are running the world and not giving you a shot, it's so easy to just pick on the Jews. It's so easy to come to the conclusion. And especially because it's not really logical. Humans have a natural and healthy and necessary desire for vengeance. As a matter of fact, I would say among human beings today alive, as you can see in comments all over the internet, hatred is the primary thing. Most comments that I get on my videos, I never let through. It's by people who never watched the video. They saw the word Jew or rabbi or something like that, and they just spew their trash, their agrammatical, stupid, dumbass trash, because people are feeling so bad and such a need to vent that's what they're doing. So, I understand really, really clearly how to fix up this world. I really, really do. I understand the pyramid system. I understand how it's been explained in the various wisdom systems. Most importantly to me, of course, the Bible. But I've had very, very limited success. So I decided this week I'm going to do what I've done for others in the past. What I've done for others in the past is quite extreme. To try to, there were people whose lives were in imminent danger, and after bringing the matter personally, in other words, non-secret stuff in the newspaper, and bringing the matter personally to all of the authorities, all of those who have money or power or authority or credentials or office, bringing it all to them and them all just shrugging their shoulders. The whole system is such garbage. And I had to end up taking it on my tiny little ADHD shoulders and saving these people's lives. And what did it accomplish in the long term? So long as I continued to keep my my purity and sincerity, and to not accept the big money that was offered me by the Israeli pro-Israel people to lie. I mean, I was working in the pro-Israel stuff around the world, but I wouldn't lie, and I wouldn't do buzzwords, and I wouldn't create catchphrases, and I wouldn't compromise the honesty and sincerity of what I was doing. That really is what could have solved the problem. There would be no war at this point. There would be peace at this point. If I had the money to do it myself, there would be peace at this point. But at the end of the day, most of the people who make most of the money, they've made so many compromises along their lives, there's nothing left of them ideological that they believe could really be useful. And therefore, they don't give their money to that. It's all about winning. And so, I'm trying something really, really hard this week. I started saying before with these people who were in great need, in order to force myself to not do anything, but to come up with a solution, an impossible solution. I would sleep on the floor. I would eat nothing but bread and water. I would have no conversations with anybody. I would not read. I would not talk to nothing. So I'm stuck either doing nothing or hopefully the idea would come to me and I would fix it, and I did. Now in this instance, for the first time, I'm doing it for myself, kind of. I say kind of because my deepest desire, of course, is to take apart this whole power structure system, this whole pyramid system that Moses, at the behest of God, talking nonstop, person needs a little water, they should pay me, Aquafina. But how to do it sincerely, I don't know. But the Donald Trump method is the method that I'm referring to. Making deals. I'm capable of making deals like nobody's business. So, to reiterate my contact information, MosheJRudner@gmail.com, MosheJRudner@gmail.com, and my phone number 1-760-880-1584. That's 1-760-880-1584. I have Signal, I have WhatsApp, and I have regular phone. And I'm open to any money-making endeavor, but not something that involves working because my brain does not have that capacity. But in terms of actually making deals, even if it's not the most righteous deal in the world, the most righteous deal in the world is unfortunately not possible because all of the people in the bottom 20 rows, there's a 50-row hierarchy pyramid, which I could share with you if I had the graph in front of me, but basically decreasing by a certain percentage each time, and the people beneath them more or less have to do what the people above them want, unless a few of them get together. Money is how the world runs round. As Jesus put it, it's harder for a wealthy man to get into the kingdom of heaven. Well, maybe I'll be the first one to succeed. Maybe I'll help others succeed. But only for the goal of eventually us not having this wealth and these trade secrets and how every single job is designed to hurt people. It really is. Of the various jobs that I've had, they're all designed to lie. They're all designed to manipulate and to take from the other person for yourself, right? Maybe just on behalf of someone else above you, but that's really what's going on. In any case, but I'm open to anything this week. Amoral, aethical, food, edible, and all the rest. So I should offer suggestions, perhaps, but it seems makes most sense to offer suggestions to people who can actually hear me. The thing that I saw from Bibi and from Trump, we're going to clean out the people of Gaza. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times for extreme measures. Just ask Hitler. There are times for extreme measures. But the assumption is based upon the idea that the people of Gaza are incorrigible, or at least, and that they're all evil, really, that they're all evil, or at least that they are stuck within a system where their leaders are evil and nothing can be done about that. I, in my life of taking numerous risks, countless risks, endless risks, have had intimate conversations on every subject under the sun with tens of thousands of people. And I've encountered a handful, just a handful, that I would say it's possible that they are unsavable, insalvageable. And I do not apply that to any people that I don't know personally and haven't had a lot of experience with. I do not apply that to Bibi Netanyahu or to Yahya Sinwar's brother or to the Ayatollahs or even to Kim Jong-un, although it would be hard to imagine actually getting through to him on a human level and, as they showed in the movie The Interview, which is pretty funny. In any case, I really do believe that every single person would be happier if they didn't have anything to fear from anyone else, if they didn't want anything from anyone else, they didn't need anything from anyone else, if they recognized the deep-seated joy that we all have in being kind to others for no reason but that we enjoy it. It's a pleasure to be kind to others and to show them, to empower them, those that have less than us, to give them joy and life, connection to God in a certain sense. I think that's essential to everybody, I have myself lived it for years, and it was incredibly joyous. It really was. What shocked me was to find that all of that counted for zero because society itself has rules that govern the thoughts and actions of man, and therefore it counted for zero when I would run afoul of society in some way by mistake. For example, when some evil individual would decide to have a go at me, and society has its rules and whatever else, and I was like, wait, but you know the truth, but we are society, we are a machine, we do not know anything. And reaching out to people didn't help, because the system is the system. So, whether just for myself, which I don't think is what it would turn out to be, but if it did, better to be a live dog than a dead lion, is what the Bible says. Or ideally, after I have some success in climbing at least a few layers of the monetary scheme, when I have a few $1,000,000 at my behest, then I'm able to actually break through the algorithm through which we must all engage. YouTube demonetized me for no reason. It doesn't show my videos. I have 23,000 subscribers. They got no reason. They show my videos to like 20 people. Really. And there is no town square anymore. Boy, that COVID thing was smart, eh? Get everyone completely dependent on their phone, forget the human communication, forget the back and forth, the understanding each other. Because, of course, it's impossible to not misspeak and for someone to not misunderstand or to have a preconceived notion that, you need the back and forth, you need the physical, you need to drink together, smoke together, eat together, dance, sing. You need that individual human physical contact. That's what we is. So, but for this week, I'm not doing any of that. What I've been doing is sharing with you, I guess, my discomfort. But at the end of the day, if you watch that video, my most recent video that I uploaded, it's all absolutely true. I have engaged successfully in hostage negotiations, freed hostages about to be murdered. And I have saved the lives, the marriages, the businesses of thousands of people. Of course, anytime anybody offered to pay me, no, that disgusted me. For this week, I accept. In fact, I insist upon it. One of the things I'm not allowed to do is to do things for free. It's one of the rules. Otherwise, of course, I'll continue to be happy to do that. That is my way. That's the ideal way. In a messianic world, that would be appreciated. In a non-messianic world, you know where that leaves me? One step below death. True. Monetarily speaking, just like a few days from death. Nuts! But the whole passive-aggressive thing, like, Don't you guys realize that you're faking your religions and you're faking your beliefs by not helping me at least a little bit? I mean, yes, don't expect too much because I can't get through to the world unless I have a lot of followers or a lot of money. It's impossible to break through to a large enough group of people that everybody will be able to recognize the same truth at the same time, which they all already deeply know but are afraid to say, and then live in that way, and then be a light onto the world. So therefore, all you're doing by giving me a few $100s here or a few $100s there is sustaining me so I have a chance through trying every different thing like this thing right now to try to get to that level where I can have some influence. And only a few people have given. God bless those who have. Honestly, because you knew that probably it wouldn't end up, very quickly reaching the world, but it keeps me alive long enough to give it a chance. God bless you. You are the only people worthwhile, in my opinion. To me personally, the only worthwhile people. But for this week, let's make a deal. Israel, Gazans, you don't have money, you're kind of fucked. But, there are some people, maybe even anti-Semites, Jew haters, who want to fuck up the thing about getting rid of the Gazans. You can get in touch with me too. Or Jews. I did pretty good as the head of Israel Update, now known as Hasbara, traveling the world, changing hearts and minds. I know the sale. It's my sale about Greater Israel. It's not with weapons and all that shit, but we can leave out that crap for now. We can leave out my part of the view, or better yet, my part of the view actually helps grow your part of the view. Because listen, I'm open. I'm a free agent. If the Gazans will follow me, sorry, Jews, you will definitely be morally outvoted. You will definitely be shown to be vile hypocrites. It's not likely to happen, but if they do, that's the way. Anyway, yeah, so whether for personal things, whether for business things, anything whatsoever, get in touch. Moshe, Musa, Yadidya, Rudner, 1760-880-1584, Wahad Saba Sita Sifr, Tamanya Sifr, Wahad Hamsa Tamanya Arba, Achad, Sheva Shesh Efes, Shmona Efes, Achad Chamesh Shmona Arba, on Signal, on WhatsApp, on regular phone, or email moshejrudner@gmail.com. And if you want to know a little bit about me, but the ethics that I am trying so hard to ignore this very week, my Substack is endless in that regard, as are many videos here. Check the Substack. ydydY.substack, that's substack.com. And if you want to give just because you want to help me have money, because you're pretty damn fucking sure that if Moshe Rudner has money, things will be nice, things will be more good, and you like me, that's all acceptable too. That's all very appreciated too. So whether it's a mutual deal or just helping me climb a few rungs, from $100 to $500 to $2,000 to $5,000, $10,000. Like I said, there are 50 rungs. And all of this is fascinating to explain, but meaningless if I can't have a large enough audience. Then get in touch. And that's it. Please get in touch.